Adventures on the Sword Coast. Chapter 9. After an uneasy night's rest at the foot of the Sword Mountains, and just a short distance north of Togold Mine, the party decided to go back to find Don John, who went missing in the night, and to force the rat folk to keep their word and return to the Shrine of Savras. As they gather their equipment and prepare to walk back to the mine, they are joined by Zuh Rek, who had stayed at Butterskull Ranch for an extra day to ensure that the Orc Raiders did not return. Amos the Destroyer explains that he and Princess Lady Anastasia wanted to go and kill the rat folk for causing so much trouble, but had reluctantly agreed to let Fairfax negotiate the eviction of Togold Mine. Fairfax Whitbeam asks if there is any intelligence behind the barbarians' logic as they discuss what to do about the mine with Zuh Rek. Although the barbarians admit that they don't care for matters of diplomacy, Zuh Rek professes to have flashes of intelligence at times. Fairfax mutters under his breath, "An intelligent fighter, wonders never cease." Reluctantly, Fairfax still agrees to be the party spokesman when they return to talk to the rat folk at Togold Mine. All the while, Amos and Princess continue to sharpen their great axes. After a short 15-minute walk back in the direction of the mine, they hear some rustling in the bushes. Immediately, Alexis Songblessed lunges into the undergrowth and tries to grab whoever or whatever is hiding in the bush. To everyone's surprise, a voice shouts back, "What you all doing? Why you tried to grab me, boy?" As Alexis reveals Don John. Alexis asks if Don John knows what has been happening over the past few days. He replies, "Well, sorta." Fairfax explains again that they have completed the task of removing the orcs from the Shrine of Savras so the rat folk can return to their home. Don John says, "Great! We can get rid of those creepy rat folk and get the mine up and running again." He asks if it was difficult in dealing with the orcs, and then he looks at the barbarians and figures not. Fairfax proudly explains he was practicing his ranged spells. Don John, still appearing to be confused, inquires, "Let's go to the mine then. Did you get rid of those rat folk?" Amos the Destroyer throws his great axe over his shoulder and responds, "Let's go clear these rats out then." Fairfax mutters, "I guess there's no need for diplomacy now." Princess Lady Anastasia's eyes light up at the thought of battle. Amos looks back at her with a wry smile. Striding off ahead, Don John is already setting off to the mine, but in completely the wrong direction. Fairfax Whitbeam shouts out, "It's this way," pointing in the opposite direction. So it is." And with this he about turns and marches off. As they get close to Togold Mine entrance, Amos the Destroyer brings up the subject of invisibility, and suggests this time Alexis Songblessed scouts the area ahead while being invisible. Alexis proudly responds by proclaiming that he has been perfecting his spell levels, and can now make 2 people invisible at the same time. Somehow Amos the Destroyer along with Princess Lady Anastasia are nominated, and before Amos can protest, Alexis casts invisibility on them both. Princess, excited about being invisible, shouts, "Yay!" As Princess has dark vision, and Amos will not be able to see as they enter the dark mine entrance, he suggests that they use her chain weapon so she can lead him safely along the passages. As they discuss this approach, Alexis wanders off towards the mine entrance, where he's greeted by a voice from the darkness ahead. "Who goes there?" Fairfax Whitbeam quickly responds by saying, "We are here to see Zelene." The voice replies back, "She does not want to see you." Flustered, Fairfax shouts back in a demanding voice, "We have removed the orcs from the Shrine of Savras. Now leave the mine, or there will be consequences." The party hear a door open and then shut loudly. With this, Amos and Princess cautiously enter the mine. Princess, using her dark vision, can see that the tunnel opens up into a cave with 2 doors at the far end, but what they both fail to see is a wererat hiding in the shadows to the left. Outside, Zuh Rek lights his lantern, and Alexis Songblessed casts light as they ready themselves to enter Togold Mine. Although the wererat cannot see the invisible adventurers, but he can hear and smell them in the dark. He jumps out, blindly stabbing at the air with his short sword, but misses. Surprised, but using her feral instinct, Princess goes into a rage and hits the wererat twice with her great axe. She immediately becomes visible as the spell breaks. The creature whispers, "I knew I could smell you." Alexis runs into the cave to help Amos and Princess and swings at the attacking wererat but misses. Then, using Polearm Master, hits with his second swing. Fairfax Whipbeam, still at the entrance to the mine, assumes that the enemy is out of sight around the corner. So he moves into the cave and bumps into Amos, who is still invisible. Casting Eldritch Blast, 2 beams of crackling energy blast it with deadly force damage. By now the party is starting to realise that the weapons Princess and Alexis are using have caused little damage to the wererat, as if they were immune to the non-magical attacks. However, the Eldritch Blast from Fairfax certainly hurt the creature. Zuh Rek dashes into the mine towards the 2 doors at the back of the cave, while Amos the Destroyer also moves to these doors and readies himself to attack anything that comes through. The wererat now stabs at Princess Lady Anastasia with his short sword. He hits, but causes minimal piercing damage while she continues to rage. The creature stabs at Alexis, but he casts Cutting Words. This causes the wererat to miss. It then moves away from Alexis, who opportunistically strikes at the foul creature, but again the damage from his spear causes little injury to the wererat. So turning to his magical abilities, he casts Divine Smite, which critically wounds the wererat as it stumbles to the ground. Triumphant, Alexis calls out, "Another abomination clean from this mine." Fairfax Whipbeam, looking at the dead wererat on the floor, turns to Zuh Rek and says, "Maybe we should have done this first." Amos the Destroyer, still invisible, shouts out, "Kill them! Kill them all! No mercy!" Zuh Rek replies, "The voices are back." Free of the attacking wererat, Princess moves over to the east door and tries to open it, but the door is barred from the inside. So using her athletics ability with advantage, Princess manages to open the door. The wererat on the other side of the door runs away, but Princess gets an attack of opportunity. Again the blow finds its mark, but hardly any damage is inflicted on the creature as it melts into the darkness of the mine, hiding in the shadows. Alexis Songblessed runs after the fleeing wererat, calling out, "Good morning, sir," and continues down the east passage and round the corner out of sight. A few seconds later he returns shouting, "Not this way!" Fairfax moves forward to join Zuh Rek at the south door, at which point Zuh Rek opens the door and moves into the room. It is much larger than the entrance cave, with piles of beams and poles to shore up the mine workings. He then dashes south to the far end of this storeroom. As only Alexis and Zuh Rek have light sources, as they both move away in opposite directions from Amos, he is left in the dark, unable to see much, so he runs after Zuh Rek past the piles of wooden beams. Princess Lady Anastasia asks Alexis what he saw. He replies, "Rats, lots of rats." "How many rats?" asks Princess. "How many is lots?" "Well, more than 3 and less than 10, says Alexis. With this, Princess charges in the direction of Alexis to fight the horde of weirats in the next room. Zuh Rek and Amos can only guess what is happening as they hear all the commotion echoing around Togold Mine. As Princess charges into the room, her gaze is met by 5 weirats, one of which she recognises as Lady Zeline. Fairfax Whitbean calls after Princess, "Is any diplomacy required?" Princess Lady Anastasia takes out her new favourite weapon and swings the chain around her head, catching 3 of the weirats who all get knocked to the floor, but take little damage from this mighty weapon. With this, Alexis attacks the closest weirrat who was knocked to the ground by Princess. With his advantage, he hits, but does little damage with his spear. Remembering the previous weirrat was vulnerable to magic, he casts Divine Smite, which causes the creature to yell in pain. He then casts Shield of Faith on himself to provide more protection from these foul creatures. Fairfax Whitbeam has also been left in the dark in the entrance cave, so he casts Light on a torch so he can see and follows in the direction of Princess and Alexis. Amos, still invisible, whispers into the ear of Zuh Rek, "Go down the east corridor." With this, Zuh Rek heads down the east corridor, only to run into another weirrat around the next corner. He takes out the mighty Lightbringer. As the foul creature runs past Zuh Rek, he opportunistically swings, but misses. The weirrat in return tries to stab Zuh Rek with his short sword, but also misses. Lady Zeline stands back to her feet after being knocked down by Princess and runs to the door in the east corner of the room. Amos the Destroyer, who had been biding his time so far, enters into a second rage and charges past Zuh Rek. With 2 swings of his magical grey axe, he kills the first weirrat and becomes visible. He then sees a second weirrat and lands another blow on this creature. Now injured, the weirrat uses its shape-changing abilities to polymorph into a regular rat, in an endeavour to escape the raging barbarian. Seizing the opportunity, Amos the Destroyer looks across to Zuh Rek and with a wry smile squashes the rat with the blade of his great axe. Another weirrat in the main room stands back up and attacks Princess with its short sword. The first stab misses, the second hits, although it is nothing but a small scratch to the barbarian in her rage. It tries to run away as both Princess and Alexis take the opportunity to strike. Both hit with regular weapons and cause minimal damage to the creature. The third weirrat to be knocked down by Princess stands up and attacks Alexis with his short sword, causing damage. The creature then tries to bite Alexis, razor-sharp teeth gnawing at the empty air. It misses. The weirrat now runs past Alexis, trying to get out of the room through the door. Princess Lady Anastasia swings twice at the weirrat behind her, critically hitting the creature with her great axe. But again, the damage is minimal for such a mighty blow. She then runs off into pursuit of Zeline. Alexis tries to block the weirrat he is fighting from leaving the room, but it opportunistically attacks him. In defense, he casts Vicious Mockery, but this fails to stop the blow from his short sword. Fairfax heads towards the sounds of fighting and casts Mage Armour on himself for extra protection with his Staff of Defense. He assists Alexis by casting Shocking Grasp on the weirrat attacking him. The smell of burning fur is a good indication that this foul creature was badly hurt. He then carries on moving into the centre of the room. Zuh Rek, hearing the sound of fighting as well, continues along the south tunnel that eventually leads to the main room from the other side. Lady Zelene curses, "Adventurers! I hate you all," and takes a swipe at Princess but misses. She then bites down hard on her arm. Only the strong constitution of Princess saves her from any infection. Zelene then breaks away to run off down the tunnel as Princess takes the opportunity to swing at the Weirrat with her great axe, but her blow misses. Amos the Destroyer follows Zuh Rek into the main room and with 2 swings of his magical great axe kills the remaining Weirrat, then shouts, "Zelene! Where are you, Zelene?" An actual rat runs out from the shadows and jumps onto Fairfax, biting his hand. His constitution also saves him from any infection the creature may be carrying. Amos shouts, "Wait for me, Princess. I want Zelene." Princess Lady Anastasia runs after Zelene, hitting her twice as she tries desperately to escape. However, the blows from her great axe do little damage. Another regular rat jumps out at Fairfax Whipbeam, but misses as he ducks out of the way. Alexis runs across to help Fairfax. Using his spear, he hits the rat, and this time the blow does appear to damage the creature. Fairfax casts Shocking Grasp, tightly holding the rat that bit him. The smell of fried rat fills the room as he throws the burnt body onto the ground. Zuh Rek chases after Princess down the southeast corridor as Lady Zelene tries to use her stealth ability to hide in the shadows. Amos the Destroyer strides across the room swinging his great axe, which critically hits the remaining rat that explodes in the air. Still in a rage, he turns to follow in pursuit of Zelene. Zuh Rek sees Amos the Destroyer still chasing him and wonders why Amos keeps following him everywhere in the dark mine. In response to his quizzical look, Amos shouts, "You've caught the lantern, Zuh Rek. Where you go, I go." Princess tries to locate Lady Zelene and spots her trying to hide in the shadows, saying, "I see you." With this, she tries to grapple the Weirrat and successfully brings her to the ground. "Ha! You thought you could get away from me," as she hits her over the head with a club. Alexis Songblessed runs to join in pursuit of Zelene, closely followed by Fairfax Whipbeam, and dashes past Zuh Rek and Amos along the east tunnel, shouting, "Where are you, Princess?" Lady Zelene continues to struggle with Princess, desperately trying to break free, as Zuh Rek and Amos arrive to help. On seeing Zelene, and still in a rage, Amos the Destroyer tries to take the head of Lady Zelene with 2 swings of his great axe, mortally wounding her in the process. To everyone's surprise, Lady Zelene transforms into a regular-sized rat and wriggles free. Amos, Princess and Zuh Rek, along with Alexis who has just arrived, all try to hit the escaping shape changer. Although badly wounded, Zelene runs back the way she came, only to run straight into Fairfax Whipbeam as she rounds the corner. Without hesitation, Fairfax casts Shocking Grasp on the fleeing Zelene. As lightning dances from his hands and across to the Weirrat, she stumbles and falls dead on the ground. Slowly her body polymorphs back into her original humanoid size and shape. Amos the Destroyer runs around the corner and says to Fairfax, "I thought you were going to let her go." Fairfax looks up and says, "Well, Princess did say she wanted a barbecue." In the distance a voice calls out, "Hey, what's a-happening down there?" It sounds like Don John. Fairfax replies, "There be rats down here." Amos the Destroyer walks up to Fairfax and with a wry smile says, "I didn't think you had it in you, Fairfax." Zuh Rek and Amos head up the north tunnel to check for other weirats as Alexis wanders off down the south tunnel, leaving Fairfax and Princess with the body of Lady Zelene. As Zuh Rek explores the north tunnel, he stumbles into what at first glance looks like a giant centipede with large teeth and tentacles probing the air for prey. Zuh Rek turns to Amos and says, "I've got this." He brings out the mighty Lightbringer and using Action Surge scores multiple hits on the creature. In return, the carrion crawler tries to hit Zuh Rek with its tentacles and teeth but misses. Amos the Destroyer charges forward in a rage and recklessly attacks in a frenzy, killing the creature with one blow from his great axe. Meanwhile, unaware what Zuh Rek and Amos are up to in the north tunnel, Princess Lady Anastasia picks up Zelene's tail and heads off towards the south tunnel that Alexis has wandered down. Amos whispers, "Have a look around the corner, Zuh Rek." As he does so, another carrion crawler scuttles out and attacks Zuh Rek, but fortunately misses. Using Ricochet, he hits the creature back. Alexis Songblessed finds a locked door along the south tunnel and tries to open it. This may be a job for Princess, he thought. He tries a second door around the corner, but it too is locked. He shouts, "Help me bash this door down, Princess. I can't open it." Fairfax Whitbeam, seeing that the party has split into two groups, heads up the north tunnel to find Zuh Rek and Amos. The ensuing battle with the carrion crawlers comes into view. Amos turns around and shouts, "Might be a good time for that mage armour, Fairfax," as Zuh Rek hits the creature again. Then Amos turns around and kills the second carrion crawler with a critical hit to its head. Princess helps Alexis open one of the locked doors with a persuasive grey axe. The door splinters under her attack, and they hear voices from within cry, "Get back, you evil rat creatures!" Looking inside, they see two dwarf miners, so Alexis says in a calming voice, "We've come here to help you." One of the dwarves asks if the weirats have been defeated. Alexis confirms that they have, and informs them they have arrived at Torgold Mine with Don John. One of the dwarfs mutters, "Oh no, management is here." Amos the Destroyer says, "Go a bit further and look round the corner." With this, Zuh Rek cautiously moves forward, only to see a third carrion crawler scurrying towards him. He hits the creature twice with Lightbringer. Amos backs up the fighter by landing a couple more blows on the carrion crawler. Princess asks Alexis if any other doors need smashing. He replies, "Yes, but it probably connects to the same room." She decides to smash it open anyway. Behind the door there are three more dwarves. Although looking past them, she realises that she is at the other end of the room as she sees Alexis. One of the dwarves shouts, "Help! Mad axe murderer coming through our door! Help!" Alexis calms them down and asks how long they have been down here. The dwarves explain that they barricaded themselves in a few weeks ago when the weirats arrived, and that only 5 of them survived. Alexis inquires if there are any other monsters in the mine. The dwarves are not aware of any. He asks if the dwarves have any gold, and they reply, "You'll need to talk to John, but I'm sure he'll reward you for your services." Fairfax Whitbeam decides to leave the warriors to their fun with the carrion crawlers, and heads back to join Alexis and Princess. As he arrives back with the others, one of the dwarves says, "Oh, another one. How many of you are there?" "Just 5 of us," replies Fairfax, "and we've taken care of the rat problem." The third carrion crawler hits Zuh Rek with its tentacles, causing minimal damage. But they are covered in a deadly poison. Only his strong constitution saves him from its effects. Then, wielding the mighty Lightbringer mace, he hits the creature in the centre of its head. It immediately slumps to the floor with green ooze pouring out of his body and onto the ground. Looking at yet another dead carrion crawler, Amos says, "Go and have another little look around the corner, Zuh Rek." Zuh Rek continues around the bend in the tunnel and out of view. He calls back, "Oh, it's green." Amos replies, "What's green?" Oddly, Zuh Rek utters only one word back, "Bush."